Survivor News.
Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News.
Survivor News. Survivor News.
Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News.
What's going on? We are back with your Purple Pants podcast, Survivor News, covering season 4, season 37, episode 3. I'm super excited.
Whoa, season what?
Season 47. I got, you ever had the hiccups? I got the hiccups. They messing with me today. So I'm excited to be here for the Purple Pants podcast, Survivor News of season 47, episode 3. Of course, we're super excited to be here with the first merge boot of Ghost Island. Mr. Wendell Holland was popping.
How we doing, Purpose? Great to be here.
Always good to see you. Then, of course, we have from Netflix season 2, Jack Atkins was popping.
What's up, Bryce? I just got this shirt. What do you think?
Oh,
can we see it?
Well,
oh, okay.
Oh,
Nobody knows the Q skirt.
Wow.
And
yeah, stuff it, yeah.
I'm screaming. Well, we're so excited to have the, should I say, the fan favorite, the cameo star. If you need a house to be sold, you know who to call.
Don't stop.
Okay, first time dad, but he the dad of the whole season of Survivor 46.
Don't stop. Don't tell him too much now.
When
real estate investor.
Okay.
The all sports athlete.
Don't stop. Come on, give him some more.
The pickleball extraordinaire.
Oh,
don't stop.
No little mistake.
Huh?
No little mistake.
No little mistake. Not even a mediocre mistake.
Okay.
The sweetest jumper to come out of season 46.
Oh.
Wet.
The sweetest jumper to come out of the new era.
Oh.
Wet.
Oh.
They talking about Ray Allen wet.
Oh.
You put a hand up, it don't matter.
Oh.
Well,
they say he'll go to a charity event and get in a fight over the score.
Sure will.
He goes to a charity event. He has to make sure the ball is legit, okay?
They say he will travel to Arizona just to beat a winner at pickleball.
Wait, Wendell, no matter where this man is at, he gonna have a phone nearby.
Not one phone, come on, two.
2 phones.
2 phones, and I ain't Kevin Gates. And we ain't making music, baby.
We ain't making music. The one and only. The man, the myth, the legend, ladies and gentlemen, Quintavius. Q is in the building.
Man, thank y'all for having me. I can't wait, and I got some stuff I need to get off my chest. Should I start getting it off right now? Or should I wait a little bit? Because I just, these folks ain't ready for what I got to say today.
Drop it on them, Q.
Let's go. I'm gonna start with my main man, Bryce.
Oh,
it's about us.
Don't close it up now, because you know where I'm going. You knew I was coming on this podcast, but instead you choose to dress yourself in a club soda. There's soda on this podcast. No disrespect to soda. I love her, but she ain't here. It's me. So you should have wore a cute skirt. And yeah, you should have put on your big mistake shirt because you actually just made one. We ain't gonna talk about it forever. Put your hands down. We ain't praying. We ain't in church.
Get him, Q.
That's where we gonna start it on this podcast. Can you
get him, Q?
What you have to say for yourself? Tell me.
I apologize. It was a big mistake.
I agree.
Indeed. Now bring that smoke over here, Quinn.
Right.
Quintavious.
Yeah, so let's talk about Wendell for a second.
Ooh.
See, I heard you went to the soccer event, but you ain't really trying to kick it. You got 2 left feet, and I know every time you tried to score the goal, you missed it.
Ooh.
I heard that they had Muriel as a goalie, and you couldn't even score.
Okay.
Season 50 is on the horizon, but I don't hear them saying, bring them back for more.
Oh.
Now, you got your hat on, and it's not a Q hat, but you knew I was coming. Should I stop making rhymes? Oh, look at him. He's changed. Now it's only one dummy.
That was off the top.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm
Wait,
done with Wendell.
Oh, okay. Oh, with Jack, what you got for Jack?
Get him.
Jack, you came on here looking like a box snack. You got a pink shirt on with a Q skirt without no snacks. You put a phone out like you was going to talk on it, but you got no text. And when I say text, I mean contacts from way, way back. You see, I met a girl from your high school, and she told me she went on a date with you. But you went Dutch because she didn't have your wallet, and she didn't want to stay with you. So she hit me up in my DMs, and I told her, holla at your boy. I ain't got no pink shirt on, baby. It's too much awesome. You's a little baby boy. Come on, man.
Damn.
Come on, man.
Oh, cute.
That's how we intro to this podcast.
Oh, okay.
He's
I
here.
mean,
The man
he's
is here. Bro.
Wow.
I want to take a shot, but I'm scared to now. I mean,
Blow up, man.
Where were all them words when the idol should have been played?
Ooh.
The only thing that was played
Oh,
was yourself.
Ooh.
Stayed in the shade.
oh,
Okay.
You've been drinking something.
Ooh.
It ain't Kool-Aid.
oh.
Okay.
The only thing you drinking is your little can of haterade.
Oh,
Ooh.
Let me talk to him. Wendell.
okay, okay.
I got the
Okay.
cute skirt on. Let's see what's in the pouch. It's the idol you ain't played. Now you acting like a grouch. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, Q.
So let me jump back in because y'all thought I was done. You see, you got an idol in your pouch. What happened? You never played, son. Survivor didn't call you because they knew what you would bring to the table. An itty bitty jump shot, no nerves, and a whole bunch of, can I get some Abels? You remind me of Gabe without the beard and without the alligator. Maybe you got the Swiss hairs, but you ain't got shit Swish over here, player. And let me go back up to the top because Wendell brought up my idol too.
Come see me.
You've played 2 times,
Oh.
won once, but maybe Dominic should have had.
Oh,
Ooh, I see you.
It came down to the last vote. So
Oh.
some might say you lucky
oh.
because you had the girl on your side,
My sis.
your sis. But if she wasn't a sis, you would have left that island number 2. I left number 6, and that's okay. But let me just say this. When we played basketball, it was just swish, 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 all in your face.
Oh.
First of all, you can't get a bucket of guarding. Now, let me, you know what? I see Q, you trying to get it in. You say you got a jump shot, but you wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
Ooh.
You trying to go on Survivor 50. I see you, but I was told they are only calling people that didn't win.
Ooh.
Oh.
So you gonna be out there,
Ooh.
but not him.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay. I just got one more, and I'm gonna finish it up with this because we got to talk about 47. You know, you went out there for 40, but did you crack the top 10? Maybe you did, but I know for one thing, you didn't win. So why would you out there in the first place trying to make new friends? I ain't gonna say what I want to say, because then I'll bring back up the past again.
Oh.
You're gonna have to relax again. And that's all I'm gonna say about that again. So what's happening? We need to get back into Survivor news.
Let's
Jack
get
or Red.
Let's get it.
Wow. I mean, that's without a doubt the best start to a Survivor news I think we've ever had. My Q skirt is strapped on now, and I'm ready to dive into the episode.
Before we dive into the episode, Jackery, real quick, no shots fired, but the only shots that you could get is when we in LA for the Bryson Wynn Tour 47 is headed that way next Wednesday. October 9th will be in LA. After that, the baby boys are headed to Nashville and New Orleans. The tickets for the BWP Tour 47 are available. You can click the link in the Bryson Wynn Present Instagram or Twitter. We're also headed to Chicago, Philadelphia, Boston, Washington, D.C., and the finale in New York City. Definitely the tour you don't want to miss. It's shaping up to be one of the best tours we've ever had. LA is looking like a finale itself with all of the confirmed guests. So don't be like Q and don't play your idol. Just buy the ticket and you could win. That's all I got.
Facts. We're not bringing idols home as souvenirs over here.
I take that. I did that. Okay, I can't come back from that one. But let's talk about some of these idols in 47.
Ooh, yeah.
What have y'all seen so far? Come on, I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing, but I got some stuff I can say.
All right.
I mean, they finding idols. They finding the Beware idols. What do you think of the Beware idols, Q? Do you like the fact that once you find it, you can turn it in for a more powerful one? Once you get that one, you can turn it in for a more powerful one. What does Q say on the Beware idols?
Yeah, I absolutely love that, because now that gives the player the option to say, you know what, I'm gonna take my chips and I'm gonna go home. Or it says, you know what, I'm gonna double down a little bit because I think I got the two aces and I'm gonna just continue to risk it. So now it's giving them an opportunity to risk it by taking it, but now saying, okay, 1 is not enough, 3 is not enough, 5 forever is not enough. I haven't seen anyone kind of risk it past what that guy Gabe did, but I like that twist. Maybe if they would have had a twist like that, I would have had 2 idols. Never know.
How far would you risk it in this case?
Is that a question though?
So I will say it seemed as if finding the next idol with the clues they had was fairly easy. I don't know how easy the last clue would have been, but I definitely would have risked it past the first for sure. Because
if you would have gotten it to say what's the second level, Bryce?
The second level is
3
tribals.
3. So Q, serious question. If you would have gotten this second level, do you think you would have went home with an idol in your pocket?
No, dude. I went to more than 3 tribals and survived.
Hey, listen, I don't need to be catching no shots, okay? Q. I don't need to be catching no subtweets. You don't got to subtweet me. You can at me.
See, I wasn't even coming that way yet. But what I'm saying is I probably would have risked it just from the standpoint of I had confidence in my ability to go to tribal and survive within my tribe early on, that I probably would have risked it to try to get a long-term idol. But as you know, maybe Q should have had an idol that was only good for 1 tribal, because I would have had to play it. When you don't have that right there, that makes it a lot harder. You know, for Rome, for instance, when he had to play it. But let's just say if that wasn't the case and he wasn't as confident and they didn't know, maybe they sent him home. You never know. So that you have to play it thing kind of sends a twist to where you automatically say it takes the decision out of it almost.
Yeah. And Q, early this episode, you see Gabe talk about why he played the idol at that first tribal.
Yep.
You know, he cited season 46 with so many people going home with their idols as a reason, like he didn't want to make that same mistake. But obviously we see that last episode, he didn't really have to play it. From your experience, you know, having been in that position, where do you think the line is in terms of like now that you've learned from your experience, how would you go into a new season being like, this is when I maybe need to play my idol and I want to hold it, but I don't want to play it too early or too late?
Yeah, so the thing about what I feel like Gabe did was, if you come off a season after watching 46 and you see how it kind of went down and the curse that, anytime you think something's a curse, it's in your head now. So it's playing with him. So he's thinking, I'm not going to be the first from mine to go home or the second. I'm going to make sure, boom, I'm secure. So I agree with the move because his name was an option at that point. But kind of folks being on his tail to say he might have some, it pushed it over, of course, to Sue. But for him to guarantee himself and to feel confident, okay, I'm making it past this first tribal that we attend. Now he has his footing. He knows who's with him, who's not. Maybe having that idol would have kind of made him play within his head a lot more on who he could really trust.
Yeah.
And do you think people thinking that, he was he had that incident where he dropped the box and like people are like thinking that this guy's running around doing these things, playing that idol, kind of like, all right, it's out of the way, guys. I had it, you got me. All right. Yep. Now let's start playing Survivor.
Yep. And he told his 2 Alliance members, correct? If I'm not mistaken. So
they did know.
Yeah. They knew about it. It was just, the oddball out and then the guy who got voted out who did not know. Which again, now it builds more trust. It's not out there anymore, but will they plant another idol on that beach? And who's going to go off and look for it? Now, if somebody else gets, so that would be going through my head on, do I waste it here? If I think I'm going home, of course, play it. And even for my season, for 1 second, if I would have heard my name, I play it. But I put so much trust into Maria having the girls that I was like, hey, if she tells me we're good, I'm going to trust it. I'm betting on myself. If I go home, I go home. Because at that point, if I make it through that tribal and I play it at 5 and get to 4, none of them jokers left could beat me in 5. Let me just tell you, the people who could beat me was already on the jury bench. It would have been Q in the final 3 being able to tell a story, baby. And let me just tell you, I might be a winner. You never know. But I didn't make it because
Kenzie would have still got you out of there.
You count, man. You count.
Got you out. She would have mopped the floor. She would have mopped the floor with you in final tribal.
Doing what? Because she would have been on the jury. Because they would have put us in fire together. It took them 3 hours to make fire.
You know what?
It took me 2 minutes.
I concede your point, Q. You're right. Dr. Maria would have mopped the floor with you.
She would have got
you out of there.
She would have left. It would have been me, Ben, and Liz. Who wins?
I apologize. Ben would have destroyed you in the final 3.
Ben would have fell asleep.
We do see Q on this season. Tribe life is really important. How you gel with your tribe mates. It's interesting to see on the yellow tribe. We have Annika kind of taking charge. We know sleeping on that bamboo isn't an easy thing, and she wants to take charge. We see it kind of causing friction with her and Sam. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I understand that she's taking the initiative. Maybe, they're on their high horse. They're winning a little bit. They went to tribe, but they think they're in a good spot. She wants to fix the shelter, which they haven't experienced rain like that yet. But fixing that shelter is kind of important. So I like that she's taking initiative. Now, she is a bit pushy. And let me just tell you, if I'm in Sam's shoes and she that pushy with me, she'll be pushed out the door. Quick, fast, in a hurry. But it's one of those things where she knows how far to push it, but it seems as if it's ticking Sam off a bit. And let me just say, Sam has a ticking time bomb in his pocket. He ain't going nowhere. You better be careful.
Now, I do want to just talk about, I would love to know your take on it. But first of all, I'm a huge fan of my man, Andy. I think Andy had a rough couple of 2 episodes where, a little hard for him. We as viewers got to physically see his internal thoughts. However, I think we are getting to see Andy, we're getting to see the actual player that he is. Like him noticing this Annika and Sam beef and him saying, like, people can tell you some things, but the information that you can get from a look of people, people can't tell you that. Like, that's like, I'm really proud of Andy this episode. I think that Andy is getting his foot in the game. What's everyone's thought on Andy's plays this episode?
Well, I enjoy Andy, to be honest. You know, that guy is he put himself out there, but he's put himself in probably the best position on his tribe, because now he's the decision maker. He can choose to go with Annika and Rachel, or Sam and
Sierra.
So now you go from a guy who's down and out, thinking he's going to be the first one gone. He blows up. Now it's all this attention on him. So now he's the one that's going to be making decisions. And sometimes those crazy moves buy you some time, as mine did. I had some crazy moments that bought me some time. And I like that about him. And, you know, you go from a guy who I feel like wants to be there. He will play, but he just kind of, the game did it to him the first couple of days. It's almost like a football team. You got a script. You have a play that you're going to run when you get the ball after kickoff, but then they fumble. You don't even get a chance to go into your script because now you're on defense. And now he's on defense to the point to where he can start playing some offense now. He's okay.
What do we think about his shot in the dark?
Yeah.
So now I think he's going a bit too far. Go ahead. Don't give away your house, son. Good gracious. All you did was open the door a little bit, and he walked outside and said, you know what? I opened the door. You can just have it. Just take it over. Move in. It's yours. No. Make her work for that, buddy. No, don't get that girl your shot in the dark.
Yes. I wasn't that mad at it, right? Just coming from a place of I see Andy feeling like Andy understands, like you said, he's a decision maker, or he's in a position where he can kind of sort of control it. And we know Andy wants to feel comfortable. And so it's like, I think he wanted Sierra to know, like, I really got you. So I wasn't that mad at Andy for doing that, but I could see where you're coming from. Now, let's shift tribes real quick.
You want to go to Lavo, Red?
Let's go to the Red tribe, because the Red tribe is interesting, Wendell and Jack. Like, we've never seen such a charismatic, you know, steal the show type of player. It's so refreshing.
Especially in the new era.
Hey, time out. Hold on. Y'all being real disrespectful right now. Y'all gonna act like 46 didn't just happen. Now, come on now.
We've never seen somebody so athletic.
Right. So
he could have done it in the
basketball.
NBA. I mean,
He should be.
He probably has a really nice.
Come on, let's Spud Whale. Little Isaiah Thomas.
Not too much on Rome, Q.
Now, I mean, Q. Yes, 46 did just happen, but it wasn't 40 Q. We are currently watching 40 Rome.
Okay, so we're gonna act like some of the most important people in my tribe go home. You go on the internet, you go on anywhere, who they talking about?
Rome.
We talking about 46.
Rome. Still talking about Rome.
46, Rome was still in diapers.
He's gonna be on the On Fire podcast.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And he might replace Jeff as host.
They say he's number two. They say he's number 2 on Cameo right now, too, Q.
Because Q took a break. Q got busy with other things. Q had a kid at the house. He couldn't sit around and make videos. Now, if y'all really want to upset me, I'll get active again. I'll show them all what the Cameo life is really like. Because ain't nobody did 400 in a month.
400 in a month.
400 cameos in 30 days.
Hey, Uncle Sam, Q's lying right now.
No, Cap. Show you my Cameo app. You want to see it?
Nope. I believe you.
I pay my tax.
Q, what is a Q Cameo? What's the running price on those?
It fluctuates depending on how I feel that day. One day it might be 95, might be 125. It never is less than $95 though, because Q demands the price, baby.
Oh,
supply and Q man.
You got it.
One thing I do want to say about Rome, right? Like, I think Rome, I'm looking at him play and I'm like, what are you doing? However, a part of me also is like, well, damn, Bryce, if you played a little bit more like Rome, you might like. I'm not mad at Rome going for what he's going for. Like, now, mind you, I might look at it at home and be like, what is you doing? But in Survivor, Wendell, Q, Jack, you've watched, we've played. But in Survivor, when that person takes the leader role, whether people like it or not, people gravitate to that, right? Like it's a natural force that happens. So there could be a fraction that opposes it, or there could be a fraction that is with it. But one thing's for sure, when you assert your leadership, people take to it. And so with Rome doing that, I'm not mad at that at all.
No, I mean, Rome is playing a game to be remembered. Like, seriously, it doesn't matter when a guy goes, he's going to be remembered for season 47. He's also playing a game that, you know, I can respect and I enjoy because he's playing his way. He's not trying to play like this person and that. Well, he did try to wear a Q skirt. Let's talk about that. And he did not purchase the Q skirt from Cupid.com. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Maybe a lawsuit.
Yeah.
You know, no lawsuit, a 1-2.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
The fall of the Roman Empire.
I
My
think
money might be
Rome
on
might
Rome
have
now,
hands.
right?
You don't know Rome.
Rome might can fish, but he ain't gonna fish me. They got to put a cold fish on his eye. Yeah.
Hey, Rome.
He's in the pot.
Now, Q, do you think Rome is playing a big game too early, or do you endorse this method of taking charge?
Well, see, here's the deal. You only got 26 days. So if you're going to play, you have to play. And for him right now, I mean, he's in a great spot. I mean, the dude got a still a vote. He had an idol. He got two folks who's basically saying, you know what? I don't want to go against this guy right now because of what he has. And for some reason, if his tribe can get back on track and win again and again, now you're talking about going into a merge with a person that's going to draw all the attention away from you. Maybe you can hide behind it. I like Rome. I love it. He's playing his way.
Do you see him getting to the merge right now as it stands?
I think it's going to be a tough task for him.
You think it'll be tough? Like, they can win some challenges. He has a steal a vote. He's got some numbers. I feel like I don't know how tough it might be for a Rome to get to the merge right now.
Well, see, the problem is he had a still a vote when it's 5 people. So he can steal 1 vote. What if the other 3 just say, you know what? We're going to stick it to him. We're going to vote 3 strong on Rome. He can vote 2 on whoever. Guess what? Last time I checked, 3 beats 2 every time.
I think you're right, Q.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. Can he piss a lot of folks off? Because I saw in the recap, the sneak peek into the next episode, he wasn't giving people their space. Somebody wanted to talk one-on-one, and we don't have to. It's Survivor. Well, guess what, buddy? We ain't got a line with you either. We can send you home next time. We don't know.
Yeah. We don't want to read too much into that either, because, you know, sometimes they throw a curveball. But also, like, yeah, Rome is beating to his own tune. And even in this episode, we saw, like, if you're the guy offering to go get all this fish, and then you want other people to do certain things, and then you eating fish like right over top of Asia. Like,
now that was crazy. The girl said, "You spit on my back." That boy said, "My bad." Yo, bad. You ain't trying to dust her shoulder off or nothing. That boy, his own world. But look, I love that because he's playing Rome's game. He's playing hard. He's taking advantage of his 26 days. He's not letting one pass where he's not going to be played. But now I will say this. When he jumped his little dirty hands and body off in that dang on water, now I would have put belt to ass. Let me just tell you. Man, look, that was some nasty.
What do you think that well water tasted like, Q?
His well water after that, bounce that ass. With a little shoulder roll in it.
Now, have you in your day ever had a couple of bounce that ass?
It depends. Depends on the day.
Don't knock it till you try it.
You're right. You're right.
Another question I have for you, Q. Over at the Blue Tribe, I feel like from your season, seeing your relationship with Hunter, I have an affinity for Kyle, right? Like, I think Kyle is such a strong player. I think he got the short end of the stick. We see Gabe trying to pull Kyle in and saying like, hey, listen, Sue and her daughter, they a pair. Yep. We could get them out. And I think it's very smart of Kyle to like and he wants to get Tiana out. Kyle's like, I'm with Tiana. What are your thoughts on Kyle going and telling Sue and everybody together what's happening?
I don't like that from a standpoint of, listen, dude, you just voted Sue. You have somebody who voted with Sue coming to you with information about Sue that can potentially save your life in the game. Why not keep it in your back pocket? Use it maybe last second before you go to tribal, if you're going to use it at all. But it seems as if Gabe is waking up and saying, well, if he goes home, we're in some trouble. And let me just tell you, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a secret just to make sure you know that I'm with you. Now it seems like he's burned that bridge, because if Sue goes back to Gabe and say, well, he came to me and said X, well, guess what? He ain't coming to you and saying nothing else, man. So I would have just played it. I think what he did was he was trying to buy favor with Sue, because maybe he wrote her name down. He felt bad. He thought maybe if he bring that information to her, it'll kind of make things easy. It actually made things worse in a sense. And I'm not sure if that tribe goes to tribal again, if he could recover from it. I mean, it would have to be them really standing up and saying, this is an idiotic move to send him home for him to stay. Or is it just going to be Gabe saying, you know what, I don't trust him. Sue saying, hey, I don't trust him. Her daughter saying, you know what, all you need is 3 when it's 5 people.
That is true. Gabe also been a little chaotic, but I think one of the smartest things Gabe has done, which we haven't seen in recent Survivor, is aligning with Sue, the perceived older woman. I think that was the smartest thing, because if it has not paid in dividends, where he's actually telling Kyle, like, I don't know about them. Kyle goes back to Sue, and now Sue is forever loyal. Sue like that, he got my vote forever.
Yeah.
What do you think about that type? Do you see any similarities? Like with you working with Maria, like, do you endorse this type of your thoughts?
So, you know, I like the fact of working with Sue from a standpoint of anytime somebody's perceived to be, okay, hey, the older person, easy first boot, you can use that person as an extra vote for you. If you can gather one other person right now and she thinks, oh, because of my age, I might be odd person out, bring that person in. Now, Maria, on the other hand, was totally different, because I aligned with Maria because she was actually brought in as part of the 6. And that 6 didn't work. I know, I get it. But my loyalty from then was with Maria until then. Maria started to bring me information when everybody thought I was checked out. Maria was the person to let me know what was going on behind the scene. You could sit back like you do at home, and then I have folks working for me and bring me the information that I need so I can be comfortable. Sue in this situation is too early to tell, but it seems as if she's going to be a valuable, loyal person. If she say, hey, I'm going to work with you, I'm going to work with you. If you write her name down, she's going to go out of her way to get you back. That's somebody I can work with, because you know what? She's still on the good side. And if you want to go on her bad side, it's when you send her home when she don't know it.
Yeah.
Remind me, how strong was the Alliance of 6?
So the Alliance of 6, let me just say, it could have worked. Let me tell you 2 things that could have made it work.
Okay.
All right. 1, if Q would have just said, you know what? I'm going to put my pride to the side. I'm going to try to save anybody within the 6. And when Tiff went after Maria versus trying to make a stand and say, you know what? If you go against the 6, Q coming after you going home, to make the other 5 say, oh, wow, Q is serious about this. I should have took a step back to say, you know what? let me just try to talk to Tiff. Let me just tell her to dumb it down. Let me try to keep this thing together a little bit more. But secondly, we had a bunch of folks on our season that was afraid of competition at the end. And if you started to do anything good, they'll come out. So I should have recognized that from, and maybe just played it a little different. But I was so stern on, if you went after somebody in the 6, I'm coming after you. And I wanted everybody in the 6 to know that. But it bought me time. It bought me information. It bought me, my focus. You got to think, everybody who went home in my season went home writing my name down, essentially, after the merge, thinking it was me because of all the shenanigans that I pulled. So it's one of those things. I had a post, I had control. The 6 could have worked, but I think I kind of overran it like a mob boss. I should have stepped back and kind of been more of the, hey guys, let's cool my y'all versus you went after the 6. Boom.
Oh, wait, is there a saying? I'm not into football, I'm more basketball. But
go ahead.
It Monday morning? Would they consider this Jack Monday morning quarterbacking?
They would, but I don't think it's bad to look back with some hindsight and say that there's things that could have been improved. I mean, that's better than saying, I respect that Q is saying, oh, I could have done a couple things different.
Yep.
Yeah.
But see, that's the difference in me and that boy who just went home on that blue. I'm going to take the heat, regardless if it's my fault or not. It's my fault. With him, he was so forward with saying, oh, losers. I don't associate with losers. It's not blah, blah, blah. Nah, buddy, y'all all lost. Just say, hey, I'm going to step up my game, guys. I could have done better, but you blew up your spot and blew up your game too early.
Q, early on, we looked at TK and we were getting Q vibes. Like in the assessment and everything, I'm like, oh, we got ourselves another Q. Little did I know, Q wasn't TK this season.
No.
A different Q showed up on our TV screens. Some might call it a better version.
Oh.
Some might call it a more athletic. Some might call it someone that could stir up even more chaos.
I think his fashion might even be better.
Oh.
Some might call it second boot, not the merge.
Some might call it somebody that wears a bucket hat and is on the lean in his confessionals.
With the lightning hoodie.
Oh, with the lightning hoodie.
That could be a good Q skirt, but
it's hard to make a tank top a Q skirt, though.
Some might say that this brother, when he's in a water challenge and has to jump off of a,
he can hit the buoy.
He hit the Quan.
That brother to fly.
He did the Superman now. Oh, now I ain't never see Q do no Superman.
Yeah, but I'm surprised. Listen, I'm surprised a bird didn't just come and scoop him up and take him back to the United States.
I think Rome's above the clouds with that jump.
That's the little fella. If the wind would have blew anyway, the boy would have hit Tuku.
Is the wind keeping him up?
Right. I'm talking about he would have hit the Tuku thing over there. Now he'd be medically evacuated. He too light in the ass, be jumping like that now. He better figure it out. But I like Rome, man. Rome is aggressive. He's attacking. He's taking charge. He's saying, no, I can do this. And I'm going to do it. I like it, man. He's doing his thing. I got to give my hats off to him. He's doing his thing. I just hope his thing doing don't end too soon.
Agreed.
And I saw on Reddit and I saw on Twitter today that they were like, Rome's lucky. He's had a series of luck happen to him. I beg to disagree, right? I think it's a little bit of luck because even I would imagine that someone in Rome's position, when a journey comes up, that maybe you should let someone else go so it would take the heat off of you. No. What does Rome do? He say, we got rock, paper, scissors for it, right? Like, and I've played rock, paper, scissors with Q in person, and, you know, I have come victorious, and it was the best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, let me tell you who didn't win on rock, paper, scissors.
I don't want to hear it.
Yep. Let them know.
Wendell. I'm gonna tell you somebody else who didn't win. Liz.
Oh.
Liz, hey, look, let me tell y'all about Liz. Liz said, Q, pick rock, pick rock, pick rock. So, baby, you finna pick paper? Wow, give me that pizza.
Q, not too much on Liz because she would
I know,
be
I love Liz.
you.
Right.
I love Liz. But to go back to like Rome, I like the fact that Rome is kind of sticking up. He's somebody who, you know, the folks say luck. Everybody in my profession, you know what they say? Q's lucky. Q's lucky. You know what I tell them? The hardest man working is always the luckiest man, right? Rome is out there working. He's looking for the idols. He's looking for the advantages. He's raising his hand, say, I'm going on the journey. I want to go. He's adamant about that stuff. So, yeah, the harder you work, the luckier you are going to get. I just hope his luck don't run out.
Right.
Yeah. I'm worried for him for sure. But this early game, he's got, like Teeny said, he's got a lot going for him. So yes. Right now it's kind of, you have to be on Team Rome or you might get run over. But I actually heard in apparently in Asia's exit interview, I heard that when they were figuring out who's going to go on the journey the day before at camp, they were talking about, you know, if there's a journey tomorrow, who should go. And I guess they figured out, you know, I forget who it was, maybe Soul was going to go. And then the next day, Rome was like, well, that was yesterday. Now we got to rock, paper, scissors because I want to go. Which is super funny. But speaking of the journey, guys, and Q, I want to hear your thoughts on this. With this game at the journey where, you know, there's a jar with 3 scrolls and 2 of them are lose a vote. One of them is an advantage, which ends up being the vote steal. And you can pick up to 2 scrolls, but if, you know, you get an advantage, then, you know, you keep your vote, you get the advantage. But if you pick 1 or 2 lose a votes, then you lose that many. I'm curious to hear from all you guys. If you were going to that challenge yourself, what would your strategy be?
Well, before Q answers, because Q, you play cards. Jack, you're a gambler, as we know. Help me understand this, Jack and Q, because so if I put my hand in and I lose my vote, right? So let's just work through this, right? It's a 1 in 3 chance, right? So if I go in and I lose my vote, in my mind, I'm saying, F it. I'm taking the 50-50 and going back in. I think that that's the most logical thing. Am I crazy for that, or what do y'all say?
No, it's math. It's simple math. So it's like, okay, you had a 66 chance to fail, and you reached your hand in the basket and you took one of them out. You had a 33% chance to actually succeed. Now you have a less chance to fail, but a greater chance to succeed with a 50-50. And the point of it, like for Rome case, or for whoever who went there, you lose 1 vote, that's fine. That's fine. But now if you can gain that advantage. Now, I cannot remember if they stick their hand back in there and now they pull out the advantage, do they get their vote back?
They do get their vote back, yeah.
So I would have risked it. Dude, come on. You got a 50% chance at that point now to go in. Are you that unlucky? You don't have that much faith in yourself that you're going to go in there and pick the right one? You see me? I would have took my hand in that bag until I pulled something out that I like.
I have a math question. I have a math question for you both. If you have that mentality and you know that there are 3 and you're like, all right, I'm going to stick my hand in there twice. Are you now, does that mean that you now have a 66% chance?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
So okay, I'm glad you guys are all on this page, because the way that I looked at it was, you know, you should either be thinking I'm not going to do it at all or I'm going to go twice. Because you go once, you're going to get that lose a vote 2/3 of the time. And then 2 of them, you know, they got discouraged and they're like, oh, well, now I don't want to risk it. It's like, well, then the decision you made was not good. Whereas if you say either I'm not going to do it at all, or if I know I'm going to pick twice, I have a 66% chance of.
See, they had to pick once. They had no choice.
Did they have to pick once?
Yes, they had to pick once.
Okay, well, then you definitely should be going twice because
for sure.
And so not only you think about, then you have a 50-50 chance of getting the advantage, but you also would be regaining your vote, which is kind of another advantage in and of itself. And if you lose a vote twice, that sucks. But it's not that much worse than losing it once compared to getting your vote back and getting a steal a vote. And if you think about it in the math of that terms, if you're able to steal a vote, you're basically getting like another vote on top of that. So,
but I also think that varies from where they feel like they are within their tribe. Because if you felt like I'm in the majority, I'm not going home at 5. Well, at 4, if you're in the majority, your 2 is going to beat their 1. If you don't have a vote, you don't have a vote. It's okay. Yeah. You can make it through if you feel like you're in that driver's seat. But if you don't, now that scares you because now you're saying, well, if I had to force a tie at 4, potentially, I can't even do it.
That is a good point, but I agree with that because if you're looking at 4 and maybe you're in a duo, then you don't want to lose your vote. But I think a lot of these guys, like Kyle, for example, kind of on the bottom, and it's like you got to take a chance,
Look, let me just tell you this: if they told Kyle go swim in the middle of an ocean with 10 sharks and there's an advantage, he should have went. Let me just tell you because he's in a spot on his tribe right now where he's burnt bridges. He's told secrets to folks who tried to help him. Brother, you need every advantage you can get. Let me just say.
And now
I'm definitely risking.
And now at 5, he can't even play his shot in the dark because he doesn't have a vote to give up. And so with him being honest to his tribe about that too, to me, even though a lot of it seem like they like Kyle, that's clearly like a really safe move to just vote Kyle.
Correct.
So,
right. Q, you are a math guy, and maybe you can help settle a debate here on the podcast. And so I just like your perspective on this, if you could help at all. Say somebody on averages logs 76,000 hours of poker. Would they be considered a gambler?
76 hours.
There's some valuable context to add, though.
I'm just asking Q a question. I saw something on Reddit.
Yeah. No. So
I saw the same Reddit thread. So over that many hours,
I don't view like poker like as a gambler.
Okay. Thank you so much, Q. This has been such a wait. Thank you, Q. It's been a great episode. We appreciate you. Okay. Big mistake having Q.
I didn't even need to give you the cut. Q, you're the best guest we ever had.
But let me explain why. Because poker is more as a game of mastering different. It's almost like playing golf. It's almost like, hey, I'm gonna go play golf today. Does it make you a gambler because you want to gamble on golf? No, it doesn't. Poker is a way for you to go. You learn people. You learn strategy. You learn how to play the game. Now, if you go into the casino, for money, if you go into, but the difference in poker and like going to the casino and I'm gonna put it on black and I hope it's gonna like poker is like one of those things you can control from when you get the cards to when. Now, there is a gambler's mindset, but if you go into poker saying I'm going to gamble, you're probably about to lose all of your money.
Thank you, Q. I had the same argument with them, and I got so much crap in the comments.
No.
Same thing.
But just because you play, look.
But
okay,
that's not going to learn people, though.
Okay, so you saying when I go play in a pickleball tournament, although I have to pay to play, I'm a gambler because I want to go and play pickleball?
But no, because pickleball is a sport, a physical sport. Gambling,
poker is an art. It takes skill to play poker.
I think we've taken a tangent here, folks, and we're here to talk about Survivor News.
I want to say I was done with this conversation. I kind of admitted defeat and Bryce wanted to bring it back up, and my man Q had my back. So thank you, Q.
I mean, that's fine. Poker is still gambling, and you are still considered a gambler, whether it's an art or not. You know, listen, it's not like he was a winner. Like, you know, like we can't, you know, it's you, you know. I'm gonna take what Q say with a grain of salt. I mean, is it a gamble?
Okay. Hey Q, did you get past the merge?
Of course I did, and I was about to ask him, can I count on your episodes with one hand? If I drop 2 of them, can I still count? What if I drop another one? I'm not beefing with nobody that I can count their episodes on this many fingers. Or is this too many? I mean, hey, right. They throwing up games having no episode numbers. Paru.
Listen.
Right,
is your season considered? Listen, you might have ate with that one, but is your season considered one of the best seasons of all times? Hey, I ain't arguing with. Listen, I'm not arguing with nobody's season that don't go to 39 days. Hey,
I feel that. I can get behind that.
Okay,
but all I can say is we don't control the days. We just go and play. And it didn't matter if you had 39 days or 5. You weren't making it.
I logged a good 7. Okay, I logged a good 7.
Bryce would have made it to the merge in the new era.
Okay.
Now for real.
But here's one thing I will say, Q, because I was with some of these new era folks in Pittsburgh last week. Bryce, Jack, they say that they look at us, I guess, old school survivors, pre-40s. I call my school the new school. They have the new era. They got old school, new era, if you ask me. Anyway, they call us, they say it was easier for us. They say, like, oh, y'all had downtime, y'all were chilling. Now it's real Survivor.
Who's been saying that?
No, everybody I was just with.
Is that Rome saying that?
All the key people. So I'm wondering.
Nah, they tripping, because let me just say this. Those down days drove me in fucking insane. And I'm not sure if we can curse on this podcast, but it drove me insane. I hate just sitting around. I mean,
that's what stuff can happen.
Yeah, it's so difficult not to do something. And if y'all having multiple down days, guess what? You ain't getting multiple foods or anything. Right. Now you got less opportunities to go out there and try to get, you know. So I can't compare the eras like that, because it's one of those things. Regardless, you have to get through some of these earlier days anyways to be able to have a shot at winning. Now 39 days seems to be a lot longer than 26, which it is, but it's one of those things where you guys did have more time to recover from if you made a mistake, versus if you make a mistake in this new era. Let me just say, you make a mistake today, you're going to tribal tomorrow. You don't have 1 or 2 days in between to try to make it right for somebody else to come in and do something stupid. No, they have to do it ASAP. So, you know, it's different. You can't compare the two, really, to me.
I think the game has evolved, and I think you have a different type of player in this new era, a totally different. I think you have some scary players in the past, and I think you have a different type of scary player now, one that will look their closest ally in the eye and snipe them. I think
correct.
You got a whole lot of gamers, you got a whole lot of people with game, whereas back then, not as many players are so much locked into game, or like you came in and break the mold. Rome is in here breaking the mold. Like, y'all know game, but you're also putting your total new, like, it's like you're an alien coming into the Survivor world. So yeah, it's hard to compare them, but man, like, I think we got some, I think we got some dogs from the past too, Q.
Oh, for sure, man. And look, I look at it as eras in like football. Or in basketball, anything. They say, oh, what MJ couldn't do, or oh, they could. Listen, errors make the game, period. The players within it also just progresses. Now, it's one of those things, again, we have 26 days versus 39. We have players now who are playing harder from day one versus you guys. You just don't want to be seen for a couple of days, maybe, because it's so much longer. You have so much time. You don't want to make moves too soon. So for me, I don't think that, Wendell, but who cares what Q thinks?
I care, Q.
Well, I love you.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting, Wendell, that people are now. I think not having played, I couldn't tell you the difference, like being out there. But I think the argument that the down days make it easier, I think, is kind of counter argument, because I feel what Q's saying is if you're camping for a week and then there's a day where you don't have anything to do, you're like, I wish we could go do it. It's like an activity that kind of keeps the tempo moving. So obviously 26 days, it moves a lot faster. It might really gas you out, especially no rice, I think is maybe the biggest difference. But at the same time, I think you're going to be a lot less bored and be able to keep your head on a little bit straighter is how I would imagine things. But,
for us, I was part of the tribe who went 13 days with no fire, no food. So that part of the game is a lot tougher, whereas you guys can worry about, oh, if you lose, we're taking your flint. I don't think they did that in you guys' era. So that makes it difficult, man. When you're not winning, you don't have everything in place. And then even if you had it and you lose one time and they're just going to take it away from you, I don't think you guys have to worry about them coming in and taking your stuff, making it difficult.
Yeah, if y'all would have just kept Jelinski, man, y'all would have had your everything, really. Y'all would have started winning,
Well, if was a fifth, you know what they say, we'll all be toasty. But see, I just made that up, It's one of those things like it's a joke and then it don't have any meaning. Yeah, one of those moments.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I know some ifs too. Yeah. If your aunt had you got
it.
So Lavu loses, and we are back at Lavu. I really want to talk about Dr. Patel and Teeny, because I think, although I'm very sad with the outcome, I have to say I was pretty impressed with the way that Teeny and Dr. Patel maneuvered, right? They put themselves in the middle. Essentially, it was Seoul and Asia. Then we had, it's Geneva, right? Genevieve and Rome, and then it is Teeny and Dr. Patel. And it seemed like prior to this episode, Asia, Saul, Dr. Patel, and Teeny were a foursome, who couldn't be beat. And now Rome gets this power, and now Teeny and Dr. Patel are like, now wait a minute. And out of the two to go, it seemed like Saul was the one. All of a sudden, today, Rome woke up and said, I don't like Soul, so Soul got to go. And Asia is the third boot. I was the third boot, right? I see a lot of myself in Asia here, where she wants to fight for her number. And Teeny and Dr. Patel are coming to her like, listen, if anything might go down, we want you to know that we want to save you. And her reluctance seemed to shake Dr. Patel and Teeny. And I almost want to credit them for this pivot. I'm just curious to think how everyone feels about the way Teeny and Dr. Patel moved this episode.
Well, for me, it showed who's really making the decisions. Rome is entertaining, yes. But those two, Teeny and Dr. Patel, they're in the best spot on the tribe from a standpoint of they can go back to Seoul and say, you know what, we actually saved you. We switched this vote from you to Asia. They wanted your neck gone. And it's also one of those things, if Rome really wanted Seoul gone, like on my season, when I really wanted somebody gone, they left. So y'all comparing us and doing all this crazy stuff, my tribe wanted to keep Jelinski. I wasn't having it. Where did Jelinski go? First boot, home. But if Rome had that much flex in what he was doing, then it would have still gone its ways, which shows me that Teeny and Dr. Patel, they are actually running that tribe. Rome is the entertainment. Rome is why we watch television now. Let me just throw that out there. That dude is hella entertaining. But as far as making those decisions, those two are. Now, I do not like Asia's pushback. Listen, save yourself if you can.
Yeah.
See, I think it's a different. Well, I don't know.
I want to hear Jack's perspective.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, what?
Oh,
I just want to hear Jack's take on this. Sorry.
I was first and foremost very impressed with Teeny's ability to steer the target onto Seoul, because originally Rome was targeting Asia. And Teeny, came up with a pitch for Rome that was like, who's most likely to find an idol if it gets rehidden? Seoul. And Rome was like, oh my God, like that was great, convincing. I kind of agree that it's tough, because if Asia does think she's with those two, then taking a shot at Genevieve is not necessarily a bad idea. And I have to imagine there's more going on behind the scenes, maybe with like Teeny and Keyshawn's connection with Genevieve, where they want it, because I couldn't really imagine Rome playing his idol for her, even though he kind of hinted at it. So I kind of agree with Q, where especially in 6 tribe seasons, a lot of times when it breaks down into duos, that one person who gets left kind of on an island after that first vote out becomes a swing vote. And so if Asia can really lock in with Teeny and Keyshawn, who I think you could kind of tell were being genuine, because they might have been kind of like, Rome was pushing for you, but we pushed it on a Soul. Come with us and you'll be good. That's the moment to be like, all right, like I'm gonna have to lose Soul, but I think after this I could trust that this 3 will want to work with me, because Rome won't have his idol XYZ. But I feel you, Bryce. It's hard to be in that spot and think you got people you could trust, and then like just let them throw your number 1 ally under the bus, instead of being like, well, here's maybe another idea. It wasn't like Asia was pushing that hard, so it's kind of like you want to push a little bit, but then know when to stop so that you still keep those people close.
It's those first tribals. I definitely say, I think as newer players, when you play, again, if you're not Q, anyone else, right? Like, you have to remember that you just got to get through this. And sometimes you make these alliances and the game becomes bigger than yourself. So I don't fault Asia at all. I've been in her situation and I've turned out the 3rd boot, but the 3rd boot is not all that bad. You might go out 3rd, but you get Q to come on your podcast. So who's the real winner?
Every time.
So, I'm not mad at Asia. It's just I understand that point of view that she was at. And even though I don't even think she realized the situation that she was in, because again, my hat's off to Teeny and Dr. Patel, because I feel like they play that move really well.
Yeah. Bryce, the only thing I will highlight that you said is like, sometimes it's about like just getting to that next day, especially in the new era. It's a shortened season. You never like get your behind to the next day. You never know what can open up.
Yeah. And it's definitely tough for Asia. It's just kind of a bad draw when the number 1 person probably in the whole cast that Asia would clash with suddenly has an idol, that he has to play, suddenly has a steal a vote. It's like, if you're just starting off on a 6-person tribe and there's one person that you're really butting heads with who has all the power, there's only so much you can do. It's kind of a tough draw, and
But that would be a reason to just go with the flow.
100%.
Poke your head up a little bit to say, what, I'm just gonna take it easy. But here's the thing: maybe she did not know he had all that.
Right, and she didn't. And that was another thing that was like not frustrating to me. But when Keyshawn and Teeny came back to Asia and was like, he has an idol, right? Like, in my mind, I would have been like, no, when the hell did y'all learn that? Right? Like, no, but again, they made her feel so comfortable. Another thing that I feel like I have learned from being an astute journalist of the season, because I've spent more time talking about the seasons than I've been on it, right? If ever I were to be out on the island again, right, and I see a player like a Rome and I have the opportunity to work in a group that's like, oh, when Rome is doing too much. In my mind, that's like ding, 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 ding. Call me Dr. Maria, and I'm gonna go get my cue. I'm going like, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like that would have been such an invitation to like pull him in.
Yeah.
Quick question for Q. Q, when Kashawn said, just so we don't have a Q moment, does anyone want to go home? How'd you feel about that?
Hey, listen. For moments in the game of Survivor to be labeled Q moments, that means you had to make an impact, baby. You had to make an impact. So now they're thinking about it. Well, maybe somebody wants to do what Q did. Maybe not, but it's in their mind. It's in their mind. And that's all we can ever wish to have when you go on a game, for you can leave just a little mark, for your name to show up again in another episode that you're not even a part of, for players to recognize this dude did some crazy stuff. Let me see if somebody on my tribe wants to be as crazy as that guy. Yeah. Because we're going to take an advantage. And let me just say, you know, it's some of those things, again, that I did early on that actually bought me more time in the game. It really did. But it was one of those things to where I tested my test. You know, I said, vote for me. And they said, no way, we're not voting for you, my guy. Which made me feel really, really good until it didn't.
How'd that feel?
Bruh, I ain't gonna even cap. I smiled, but see, here's the thing about me. I went into that tribal and I said, I'll go home with it in my pocket unless it's like a major red flag, or I will make it to 5, get to 4, beat anybody left in the game and fire. And maybe we talk about a different thing. So it was worth it for me to hold it. But looking back on the scenario, I should have never dropped my guard. I should have kept playing. All this different stuff you think about that maybe I would have caught the little thing that I should have heard or seen or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. I played the game. I played the game how I wanted to. I played it really, really in your face, raw. You guys got to see it. Rome is doing that this season. I just hope he hasn't started too early and it's going to kind of flame out too quickly. But, man, this season has been good, really good.
That's the only thing I'm scared of. I want to watch Rome for a long time in this season.
For sure.
And I'm so, but then again, Q, like in your case, I'm like, we need more Q. And we kept on getting more Q, like episode after. I'm like, I don't know how he's doing it. I hope the same goes for Rome.
I hope the same for Rome, just from an entertainment point, because let me just say, once and if Rome leaves, man, this season, from an entertainment standpoint, kind of goes way down.
Well, okay. This isn't directly what I wanted to say about the Rome thing, because he's definitely entertaining, but Rome, like a lot of other people, is kind of rubbing me the wrong way. And I know that's some of the editing, but something that I don't like about the Rome situation that is not his fault at all is that some of the people going into the season that I was the most excited to see and kind of learn more about were a Keyshawn, a Soul, a Genevieve. And because Rome has been such a dominant force, which again, not his fault,
you don't even see him.
I don't really get to see any of them. So part of me is like, I'm hoping Rome goes down in a blaze of glory, and then we start to see some more of these other characters that are really fascinating to me. But who knows? I mean, they could end up being boring, Q, and it could go downhill. So
I'll say this. I think Rome is great. However, I can't discredit Gabe. I think Gabe has given us a lot in his own realm. I think Sue is for sure a character. I think Annika for sure is somebody that we need to watch out for. I think Sam has it in me. And of course, Andy. So although, Rome might be the headliner of the tour right now, I think we have potential spots for other people that could really kind of spice it up. And that's the thing that I've loved about the season so much, is that there's players, like people are actually playing.
Sometimes when I watch Gabe, I think of I don't call him like a Survivor villain, but I think of him as like a character of a villain in like a cartoon or something like that.
It's like the mouse. What's the mouse in the is it Mr. Brain? You know what I'm talking about? The mouse
in the brain?
Yes.
Yeah, I see him like one of these characters, and I'm excited to see what he does with his game.
Yeah. It seems like he's in a good spot on his tribe at this point. You know, you can't get rid of the other big guy on your tribe. Now you like light it on fire, send us all home. So
they do have Kyle though too. But Q, I wanted to circle back on something you said that I'm just curious about, talking about your season when you did that test early on of being like, you know what, guys, vote me out, and they were like, no, we can't vote you out, Q, and you knew you were good. Imagine there's a world where they said, all right, bet, like we're gonna vote you out. How would you then circle back to fix all that and make sure you stayed in the game? Well,
see, if they would have made that sort of decision, it probably would have been too late because they would have probably made it at the voting booth, really. So a lot of, and just to say that, man, that lasted maybe 3 to 5 minutes. It was a coming back from the challenge, throwing my shoes, boom, sitting around, just letting them know that I hold myself also accountable. I'm not this person to say, you guys make mistakes, I'm on your neck, I'm gonna hold you accountable. I hold myself accountable. So if I'm the reason, which in my mind, I felt like I was the reason we lost that challenge, can't land a dang beanbag, I should take some heat. And it's okay for a person like me to say, if we're all in at the house and we're cutting grass and you've cut your half and I haven't cut my half, I want my brothers and sisters to say, bro, you ain't cut your half, what's up? If they don't do that, I feel like they're not my people. You see what I'm saying? So I wanted to feel like, okay, guys, listen, hold me accountable the same way I hold you accountable, because it makes me a lot better. You saw what happened in the next challenge. Oh, we blazed them and we killed them. I'm talking about we finished before they get out the water. Come on now.
You said it was 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. I mean,
yeah. The first time when I was with Yanu, it was 3 to 5. It was one of those things where I said it. We walked to the clothesline. I was like, no, I'm serious. Let's go now. And then it was like, okay, they don't want to do it. I'm not going to make them do it. I really didn't want you to do it. I was just letting you know it's an option. But they showed me then how important I was on my tribe. And from there, it was game on. It was game on.
Bryce, time moves different in a 26-day season.
Yeah. The way the sun was when you started and where it was at, but my 2 episodes that I can't speak on it, but I definitely think this season is off to a great start. And Q, we can't thank you enough for coming to the Purple Q.
Can I ask one more question before we wrap up?
Get him, Jack.
Sure.
It better be a good one.
Who is the Q winner pick right now?
But this season?
Yep. And I also, after Q, I'd love to kick it to Bryce and Wen too, if you guys want to get one in your head.
My winner pick, if I had to pick today, would probably be can't see Teeny making it for winning. Probably the girl on the blue tribe, not Sue.
Caroline?
Tiana?
Yeah.
She's looking good.
Yeah. I can see her because, she had to make a big move, she's showing the ability to separate the emotions in the game and make the right decisions for what she feel like is for her best interest for her game. Because let me just say, the boy that they sent home on blue first would be a problem. He would be a problem if he made it. Somebody with that much will, that much grit and fight, man, they're a problem. So getting rid of them ain't not the worst thing. And they came back and won a challenge, right? Without him. So
how do you think you would have done on a tribe with a TK?
Oh, he would have drove me insane.
You
Again,
think so?
yes, bro. I'm the complete opposite from a standpoint of I'm more of a I take the responsibility. I put the burden on myself. He's more of a point.
Y'all. Yeah, so he'll point at you and you'll take it on you.
Yeah, but it's one of those things when I don't like cocky people. And sometimes he comes off as that to me.
Sometimes I think you coming from sports, and this doesn't need to be the TQ pod, but you coming from sports, you deal with a lot of characters out there.
Yeah, for sure.
You're a team player, and you're like, all right, I know how to navigate this person, I know how to navigate that type of person, I know how to talk to this person. It just is what it is. It's also navigating life and code switching and all that stuff. But I think sometimes I think about, like, in his case, I'm like, I was on a tribe with Chris Noble, and he is all of those things also, but he's also a dog, So, like, we knew when we were in that tent before we were walking out, we're looking at each other, hyping each other up, and we ready to go kill somebody out there, So,
let me just back up. If I'm on a tribe with him, I'm not saying I'm voting him out because of that, but I just know it would have rubbed me the wrong way to the point to where I would probably just say, hey, look, bro, let me just me and you have a conversation. Maybe you're not aware of kind of how this comes off. You know what I'm saying? But then if he's like, man, I know what I'm doing, blah, 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 cool, bye.
Understood.
You see what I'm saying? But it's just in my everyday life, anytime somebody comes out and they say, well, I don't hang around losers. I don't hang around these. Come on, man. Did nobody ask you a question?
Sometimes I think holding on to that person is like, cool, like all eyes on him.
Correct. Right. Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, that was just
Bryce, who would your winner pick be? If you had to pick one. We got Q said Tiana.
I think I might go with a Rachel, or no, you know what? A Rachel or a Sierra.
You gotta pick one.
I'm gonna go for the hometown of Philadelphia, and I'm gonna go with Sierra. I think Sierra is being pretty promising. I think that she's making the right connections. She's the dog. She can get the work done. She knows how to. We're seeing good things from Sierra, so I think I'm gonna go with Sierra.
And then Wendell, who would you say?
Let me look at who's left. I think Q made a good case for Tiana.
I think Tiana might be in a little trouble soon. I don't know.
I don't know. Who else
what gives you that
Jackery?
Yeah, what gives you that take there? She might be in trouble.
I feel like Kyle, I don't know why, but I feel like Kyle will be able to work his way back in. And then that leaves me a little bit nervous for Tiana, and we haven't seen much of her lately, so I'm just a little. Now I don't stand by that take super strong. She could definitely go far, but I'm just a little nervous. I don't know why.
I'm kind of with Q on that because she's with Sue, and Sue's daughter. They make 3, and Sue is pretty loyal.
Is she in with them pretty good?
I mean, you saw her sleeping. Like I feel like they haven't shown us, but from what I have saw from body language and where they sit and how they communicate, I would say that Tiana's in good with Sue.
Yeah, that's fair. She probably won't go too soon. She'll probably make the merge at least and then be in a good spot. But Wendell,
now I'm gonna go. I'll go with Tiana also.
No, you can't go with the same person Q picked.
I'll go with Sam.
I think I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna say Keyshawn.
I like Dr. Patel.
Okay.
Dr. Patel.
I can see that.
Because I think he's in a great strategic spot with Teeny, but I'm worried Teeny's going to get exposed a little sooner, and then Keyshawn could kind of.
I like it.
Through it, and he's been just really fun to root for so far too. So, but. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. And even that underdog story about him learning how to swim, that was actually a really powerful moment. So
I was like, how do you not root for this guy? And
that'll be a great winner.
Yeah.
And I heard when he jumps in the water, he can hit the buoy too.
Well, this is Survivor News, episode 3 of Survivor 47. Q, it's been an honor, a privilege to this podcast, although you did not win Survivor 46, I just want to point out one important thing. You know, Survivor isn't everything. And I think that you have shown that in many ways through your cameo and your personality. But I think the biggest honor, if I'm being honest,
$1 million hearts.
Q made that Bryce Isaiah 2025 calendar.
Show
And
what
everybody,
I did.
not everybody can say they have done that. I'm just saying.
Oh my
Check
goodness!
me out of the calendar for you.
Is that December?
Hey, come on, baby. We ain't canceling Christmas. Christmas is still in fashion, baby.
So I'm just saying.
Q, he kicked me out of the calendar for you.
I really did, though, Q.
Oh, you didn't tell me you did that now.
Listen, it don't matter. Some when you what you say, you got to make those big decisions, and sometimes.
Yeah. So no, right? What you say? Out with the old, in with the new.
Okay, that's what you got to do. But thank you so much, Q. Jack, Wendell, it's always a pleasure. We'll be back. This has been your Survivor News, episode 3.
It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind, you better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack, you better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.